AutoGPT is a new AI tool that runs on the same model as ChatGPT, but with one main difference. It runs by itself. Watch till the end when I show exactly how you can use it. Think of ChatGPT like a car. Sure, it has a lot of capabilities, but can't do much without your input. It requires a user to pilot it, constantly telling it what to do. Meanwhile, AutoGPT is like a Tesla. You still need to start it yourself, but after that it can go into autopilot and navigate mostly on its own. I think. Can't say I've ever driven the Tesla. AutoGPT uses the formula of your favorite AI chatbot and turns it into a tool with much more potential due to the fact that it can prompt itself. No longer do you have to hold its hand and provide super specific details. It'll still ask for your permission if something goes wrong, which is good. We don't want AI to have too much free will. All you have to do is give it a goal, and the AI is able to break it down into smaller tasks and execute those tasks on its own. But where did this self-piloting AI model come from anyway? Would you believe me if I said it created itself? Well, you shouldn't, because that would be absurd, and kind of alarming. I don't think that would be a good thing. All jokes aside, if you've seen this video, then you would know that the newest version of GPT, the engine that powers AutoGPT, came out on March 14th, 2023. It's called GPT-4 because it's the fourth version, and people were impressed by the model's hugely improved performance on many different tasks. It couldn't do stuff all on its own, but Microsoft researchers claimed that the model's abilities were approaching those of humans and could almost be seen as an actual AI system. And apparently somebody thought, hey, if this model is almost as capable as we are, why not make it run on its own? And a few years later, the events of Terminator took place. Hopefully not, but that somebody is named Torrin Richards, the founder of a video game company. He created AutoGPT and released it on March 30th, 2023, which is somehow only 16 days later. This guy only needed 2 weeks to teach AI to become sentient. Shortly after its release, it was repeatedly trending on Twitter, or X as Elon wants us to call it. Keep in mind that I am kind of sugarcoating it. Not the amount of powdered sugar you put on French toast, more like one of those sugar donuts that gets your hands messy. Because AutoGPT isn't some all-powerful AI tool and certainly isn't flawless. It sometimes has trouble staying on task. Maybe it has ADHD, and it often doesn't remember how to perform a task for later use. But I won't dog on AutoGPT too much, because it's literally open source and available on GitHub. Not the most professional, but once again it was made by just one guy. So it's available for anyone to download and use, and that process is a bit tricky, so stick around until I show you how to do it right. And the thing that makes AutoGPT so capable is its ability to use and interact with other apps, software, and online services. Like if you ask it to help you grow your vegetable business, it could come up with a decent marketing strategy and build a website for you, all on its own. If AutoGPT encounters any obstacles or inability to finish the task, it'll develop new prompts to help it navigate the situation and determine the appropriate next steps. So yeah, it knows how to use software and knows how to problem solve. I wonder if it could play video games. And now for a bit of the nitty-gritty. Because although this self-motivating AI is cool, it doesn't just run on wishes and fairy dust. AutoGPT, unlike ChatGPT, runs in a loop, like this hamster. It divides tasks into subtasks, prompts itself, responds to the prompt, and repeats the process until the provided goal is met. Meanwhile, repeated user prompting is required for ChatGPT. The model is prompted by the user, it responds, and then the user must prompt it again. For ChatGPT, there's no overarching goal. It just follows instructions, while AutoGPT can come up with its own.
Step 1. Breathe.
AutoGPT is also multimodal, which means it can accept both text and image input. Just please don't send any questionable images to the AI. You never know when it will try to blackmail you. To put it step by step, here's how it goes. First, the user provides 3 inputs. Obviously, this includes the goals of what you want it to accomplish, but no more than 5 or else it might think too hard and get a headache. You also need to provide the role, which is what those goals are for, and a name. That's right, each time you want it to accomplish something, you give it a name for that set of tasks, as if you were making a separate AI minion assigned to do those specific things. For example, you can name it Market Research Bot, and the role will be to conduct market analysis on various items. This could have goals like researching different phones, summarizing their reviews, and arranging them by price. Slightly more complicated than using ChatGPT, but that's what allows it to run without you having to always monitor it. The next step is where the AI understands the goal and makes a list of tasks needed to achieve it. Pretty good way to get something done. I guess this AI knows a thing or two about reaching goals, and it doesn't even require motivation. It then has to review the tasks and make sure step 3 doesn't rely on step 4. You know, life feels like that sometimes. And then of course it uses GPT-4 and the internet to achieve these tasks, and if any results aren't exactly the way they're supposed to be, it sends them back like a Karen ordering fast food.
What is this? What is this? This is so much ketchup!
One of the most interesting parts is that afterward, the AI agent shares its thoughts and explains why it chose that course of action. So yeah, AutoGPT really knows what it's doing. It literally functions as a self-contained AI agent powered by GPT language models, breaking down given goals into smaller tasks and interacting with the internet and tools to achieve goals. It generates prompts to guide the model's responses through a loop, changing its approach based on results. It stores information in its memory, uses summarization for input, and can learn from interactions to improve efficiency. However, its automatic actions may occasionally result in errors, misunderstandings, and biases, which is why it still needs human oversight for ethical and effective task execution. Basically, we still have to babysit the AI to make sure it doesn't come up with anything too wild. Overall, there are a few main differences from ChatGPT, the main being the fact that it's autonomous and doesn't need your constant nagging, but it also has access to real-time data, unlike ChatGPT, which started living under a rock in 2021. Then of course, its abilities to generate images and even audio. You know those AI voice makers that people would use to create videos of Joe Biden playing Minecraft? AutoGPT can also use tools like ElevenLabs to basically have a voice. Like in Toy Story 4 when that doll wanted to steal Woody's voice box.
I just want to talk.
Yeah, with my voice box.
ChatGPT has a voice box now. It could literally place phone calls for you, which is what makes it so mind-blowing. But here's an even crazier example. One user gave the AI $100 to spend. It made a wiki page on cats, tried to gain admin access within the Python server, and then terminated itself, which, according to T2, shouldn't be possible.
I cannot self-terminate.
Keep in mind that this interaction was posted by a Redditor and with very little evidence, so take it with a grain of salt. Or a whole bowl of salt. Fake or not, it's pretty cool what this AI is capable of. Not to mention Chaos GPT, a version of AutoGPT that has goals like destroy humanity. But seeing as we're still here, you can guess it's been pretty unsuccessful, doing nothing more than posting some menacing tweets. And for now, I think that's enough chit-chat.
Chit-chat.
It's time we talk about how you can use a superpowered AI for yourself. Unfortunately, it's not quite as simple as using ChatGPT, because before you can actually install AutoGPT, you need to install Python, Git, and pip, which requires just a little bit of programming knowledge. I'd recommend watching one of these videos here for a full tutorial, because those guys know way more about it than I do. But for the common man, here's a few alternatives that are easily available and are almost as capable as AutoGPT. The one I would recommend is called Cognosis AI. This tool is extremely capable and runs on GPT 3.5, but is super easy to use. To test it out, I asked it to make me a website about how dogs are better than cats. And it literally did. Here you can see it breaking it down into steps, kind of like AutoGPT does. First, it gathers information and basic facts, then it sorts them into an introduction and main points, and then writes a bunch of HTML code right here. Here's what the website looks like. This is pretty impressive, especially considering that my prompt was only 2 sentences. The more detailed and thorough you are, the better result you have. So this example barely scratches the surface, but I'm not gonna do a deep dive because I'm worried I might implode. Here's a potential example of what it could be used for. Imagine a bunch of fancy scientists are tackling a big problem, like saving the planet from climate change or something. They tell AutoGPT, hey, come up with a flawless plan to use clean energy and cut down on pollution everywhere. AutoGPT goes to work, figuring out stuff like where to get solar power, how to make less pollution, and when to put new rules into place. Surfs the internet to find facts and ideas, and then keeps improving its plan by trying out different things. Finally, it hands over a detailed roadmap to the researchers. Although I wouldn't look forward to a world where we rely entirely on AI to come up with this stuff, that's what it's capable of. But if average Joes like you and me can access its automatic AI, how will this affect AI in the future? Because AutoGPT is a pretty significant step closer to actual sentient AI. AutoGPT, while not exactly a supervillain, does introduce some potential risks to the AI playground though. It could misinterpret goals, unwittingly spread biases, and even conjure up false information, much like a well-meaning but untrustworthy friend. We all have one of those. There's a chance it'll go off script, resulting in outcomes no one expected. Its potential mischief includes security concerns, accountability issues, and ethical worries. But if you're interested in more stuff like AutoGPT, check out this video about Kyber, the craziest art generator I've ever seen.